FilmStruggles is an experience-based podcast where we ask all the questions an early filmmaker would make.
With a new guest every week, from experts to people that are starting just like us.
We cover different topics like motivation, work balance, networking, and so much more.
We discuss what to do, what not to do, and how to turn struggles into action.
I am Claudia.
And I am Gabriel. Welcome to FilmStruggles. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 0 of FilmStruggles. I am Gabriel.
And I am Claudia.
And today we are introducing ourselves to our listeners so they can know a little bit more about us behind FilmStruggles.
Exactly. So I think we should start first just by explaining where this idea of the podcast came from. Do you remember?
Yes, I do remember very vividly.
I do remember you and us getting together at the library in downtown Vancouver. And we were super excited. And then the next week, we were not able to see each other anymore because we were meant to stay home because of coronavirus.
Quarantine.
So everything started to start getting into shape in this lockdown that we have been experiencing.
Yeah. And I remember we finished film school. We went to film school together. And we met a couple times after we graduated. And we were like, okay, let's create a network of future possible projects. And the podcast came to be because of a very common necessity that we discovered that the two of us we have. Which
First
is very related.
First, you wanted to be like a sci-fi something podcast.
Oh yeah, I wanted to create a fiction, a sci-fi fiction, like a 40-minute episode, long episodes of sci-fi, and you were like, okay, what if we do something more realistic?
Not realistic, but the thing is that every time that we got together, we started to wonder and asking all these questions and then just remembering all our situations that we lived in film school and how could we not avoid it, but what did we learn from there, or what
information, if we had the information earlier, would make a difference.
Yeah, how can we
into
improve?
Decision making or whatever.
Yeah. So I think the podcast was the idea of the podcast. It's about all these questions that we had in film school that we didn't know we had. The moment that the professor says, does anyone has a question? You're like, okay, I don't have anything. You understood everything he said. And then when you are outside, or not even outside, doing a film school project, then all this start to happen. And then you're not with the teacher anymore. You're on your own. And then all these questions start to arise. So there's many things that can happen. Like you freeze, you start getting anxious, and then you're scared and all these emotions. So you start to realize everything that is happening, right?
All the information that we're missing, you had no idea they were missing. So we thought of getting together all those questions and all those struggles that we had in this industry as early filmmakers and aspiring filmmakers, and create a safe space where we can discuss them and share very experience-based information with people from the industry, people starting just like us, experts, people in different levels of the industry, so we can create a more relatable and safe community.
Safe. I think this word, the key word here is safe.
Yeah.
Because it's just having, people from different backgrounds also sharing their experiences. Because I don't want it to be like a podcast where tell me what to do, and then I'll go outside and do it. Because there's so many factors that can happen that you won't have any control on. But at the same time, when you hear, the experience someone else went through, you apply it on your own, life, on your own things that you're experiencing at that moment in time that you are.
Yeah.
So you can make your own decisions. And having that person saying, okay, this happened to me and this is how I solve it, or this is what I didn't do or I did, it resonates with you, so you can start to okay, at least be aware. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not going to happen to me, but at least you can be aware, and then you can have that, I don't know, anticipation,
Mm-hmm.
and being in control, and you don't go to all these things that I already said, that you freeze, that you scare, and then you stop. I don't
Uh-huh.
know, like I don't want to experience it because I don't want to feel all these uncertainty.
And also, it really shows that you're not alone in this
Yeah.
industry. Like,
Mm-hmm.
most of the people, they struggle and they go through the exact same things, and we have no idea because we don't share. So,
Mm-hmm.
this is one of the main ideas of behind Film Struggles, is so we can share these very private informations, a very experience-based information, so we can change that.
Yeah, because it's very, I don't know, I think it's very common, and even like people have said that to us, that you need to always be with a smile, with a good attitude,
Yeah.
saying that everything is going right, and not always it's everything going right. Because it can be like something that is happening to you on set, or something that it's happened to you at home
Mm-hmm.
personally. So all these things makes you who you are, and you bring that to work.
Yeah.
So being able to not only talk about the good things but also the bad things, but to take all those bad things and turn it into something that can push you towards wherever you want to be, right? So
Yes.
this is kind of the idea that we have for the podcast.
Yeah. Going back to the introductions, so very quickly, my name is Gabriel. I am currently 26 years old, and I am originally from Brazil, and I've been living here in Vancouver since June 2018.
Same. I've been here since June 2018. I'm Claudia. I'm from Mexico. I am almost 30 years old. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm turning 30 this month. So yeah. Yeah. So Gabe, so for example, let's say, what are your areas of interest? Where are you right now?
I am just doing indie projects with friends, uh, and trying my best to stay creative and doing stuff. I am more interested in writing my own scripts, especially sci-fi and horror,
Mm-hmm.
directing those scripts. And I'm also very into art because I
Mm-hmm.
have a graphic design background from Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really into like art directing and making props, production design as well.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, as I said, I'm very into sci-fi. So everything that has a robot and gives like any sort of guilt to the human species, I am in. And because of my background in Brazil, I'm also very into like the immigration and
Mm.
social aspect to film, like to speak about those layers of society that sometimes we're not very interested
Mm-hmm.
in talking about. What about you, Claudia?
So my areas of interest, I am more also like you into horror, and I do enjoy. This is my favorite genre, and I'm more into the production side. So I'm more organized. I do love being a producer and first AD. I didn't know that until I got into film school, that this
Mm-hmm.
was an actual role where you can use all these colors and plan the dates. And I also like you directing. So I have a from Mexico. I have a bachelor's degree in animation and digital art, and right now, other than doing independent projects, I'm also looking for opportunities as a production assistant and working on union shows. So yeah. So Gabe, tell me, where does your interest in film come from?
To be very honest, I never saw film as a possibility because we don't talk about it in Brazil. We don't see people succeeding in that.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember, like in high school, I had English lessons in school, and usually those English lessons would have like the funny assignments. And usually they would be like, make a music video, make a video about like a English
Uh-huh.
text that you read and you want to like act.
Mm-hmm.
I would
Mm-hmm.
always go for those projects. Like, I want to make a video, I want to do this, I want to do that. But then in college, I went to like a liberal fine arts degree, very confusing degree. And I thought I would be a graphic designer. I went there
Mm-hmm.
to specialize in graphic design, but then I had a class about video making, specifically video making for like YouTube and everything. And that was my first contact with like writing a script, like a proper format of a script, like making a shot list and all of those stuff. And we made a short film together, me and my friends, called T.
Tea?
It's in the very deep layers of YouTube. No one will ever watch because it's horrible. But it was my first contact with making a film. And I had so much fun making it. We had no idea. We made so many mistakes. But it was so nice to put like many, many hours of work. And then at the end, you have a product to show to people. It was amazing. I loved it. It looks horrible, but I really like that short because of the feeling that it made me feel. And that's the moment. That was the moment when I was like, "Oh, maybe film is a possible path for me. Maybe I can do this."
Okay.
Yeah, that was for me. What about you, Claudia?
So for me, I think for me it started very early on, but I've never pictured myself in front of the camera. But for me, it was very, I don't know, like satisfying. I remember when I was little, like fast forwarding the movies and reaching after the credits, and you can see like behind the scenes. How they make, before it was for Disney when I was very little, but seeing all these like storyboards super organized on I don't know, like on a board, and then seeing all these how they were recording everything from outside, so all these parts from behind, I found I don't know, like so much satisfaction just to seeing everything that went through behind. So that was like, I was very into that. And then I was doing, I don't know, I have a little brother, so I wanted to capture everything that was going on in his life, and I was like having all these ideas. Okay, let's do this. So he was like my little puppet, and I would record him, but before, like, I didn't have any idea how to edit or anything. So, oh my God, all my videos, they are kind of edited on the same camera. So I would like, if it was a bad take, I would just rewind everything and then just record on top of what I already had. So everything is edited on the same cassette. So all that happened, and the closest thing to studying film for me was studying animation and digital art in Mexico. So I did that because it was kind of my passion, and then I started working, and I never thought of like going into film because in Mexico it's kind of like, I don't know, like people think that you're not gonna live off that.
You're not gonna survive.
Yeah, so I was kind of doing something kind of related, that it was kind of what I liked, and working kind of on commercial videos and all that. And then I went and I came into Vancouver and study a diploma in film. So talking about that, so why Vancouver?
Why Vancouver? I have a younger sister, and she came to Nanaimo, which is a small city very close to Vancouver. She lived there for a year when she was in high school, and we came here to visit her one day, like a few years ago. And that's when I met Vancouver for the first time. Like, I saw the city and everything. And I was already in college, already studying fine arts, with a lot more interest in the film program. And I discovered a film school. And then because of the film school, I discovered that Vancouver is this very hot spot for production, all the way coming from the US. And it has this very vibrant indie community as well. And I discovered that with just watching videos on YouTube and searching things on Google. And I was like, I'm about to finish college. Maybe this can be a possibility. And then I finished college. This was in 2017. I moved back to my parents' house. I started working with whatever I could find, saving money, and then I decided to come. What about you? Was it any similar to this journey?
No, it's completely different. For me, like I was going the other day through all like my files and I was backing and deleting everything that I didn't need anymore. And I found that I wanted to come to Vancouver and studying film since 2014. So
Whoa.
2014, but I remember like 2014 was when I was almost like when I finished my uni back in Mexico. So I remember that I kind of like took that once I was done with my education. But I remember while I was studying,
You were
Vancouver
already
was
looking for
also
it.
on my options to come. But I was also like always dreamt to go to Australia. So I chose Australia instead of Vancouver. And back in 2012, I went to Australia and the US and I completely forgot about Vancouver. And then I finished school and I was like, should I go to Vancouver? And I was like, no, I should start working because I was done with school. And I was like, no, my dad had already paid for too much. So I started working. And then 2018, I saw again the opportunity to come. And I was like, I have already said no 2 times. This is the 3rd time that this opportunity appears in my life, and I took it and I say yes, and I came. I didn't know, like I knew some films were done here and everything, but I never did so much research on Vancouver or anything else. I was just like, I don't know. I felt it was the 3rd time this opportunity presents to me, so I took it and I
You better
came
just
and
take it.
I didn't think about it. I just said yes, and then I came, and that's it.
No, to me it was a very planned step because I had just finished college, had just moved back to my parents, and they were already like, okay, are you finding a job? Like, what are you doing? We need to like get things started. And I was like, okay, this is my beautiful plan of moving to another country and trying my best on the industry. And that's
I mean,
how I got here.
everything, once I said, yes, okay, I'm coming, I planned everything. Like, I didn't come the next day. I think I accepted. And then 6 months later, I was here in Vancouver, so I had some time. But the moment that I had that opportunity, I said yes. And then I
It's now or never.
took it. Yeah. And then I'll figure out the rest. So that's how I did it. Why I am here. Yeah. So I don't know. I think we should just very briefly say how did we meet each other. That's we already said that we went to film school together.
Yeah.
But you could go to the same school and then never talk to each other. But that was not the case for us. So I mean, we were on the same class.
Yeah.
And I do remember we were kind of the ones taking it super seriously, school,
Yeah.
and saying like, I didn't come all the way from another country to not treat these very, very seriously. And that's what we did. And I think that, when was the first time that we worked together? Was it that I was a director and you were my first AD?
Yes.
Was that one? Okay.
Yes, that was the first time that we worked together. Yeah.
Because that's nice. Like, I've been your first AD. You have been my first AD. I've been your producer. Have I? Yes.
Yes.
and yeah, so like we have worked together even though in different areas, and we have always worked very, I don't know, like we think kind of the same, and so we're kind of on the same page all the time. And yeah, I think we help each other very good. That's why you were my first, like, to start doing this project together. Because I knew I needed that little push from someone. Yeah.
I remember the first project because we had to recreate a scene as a project, and we did the first round, like everyone could submit something, and then some specific projects got selected for a second round, and I lost, and
I won.
I was like, and Claudia won, and I remember the ones that we voted for would be the ones that we would be working for the second round. And I was like, I need to be very strategic and be very careful with the person I vote for.
Oh my
because
God.
I'm going to have to work with this person. And I'm going to vote for the person that I feel like it's very productive and like knows what she's doing, or like, not that I'm going to get something out of it, but like I know that if we got together for a project, we're going to be able to do something because of the level of dedication. And
Oh
that's
my
why I voted
God,
for you.
you're going to make me cry. It won't be the first time that we cry together.
Oh, that's very true.
We cry cry on set every
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Okay. You'll see. Okay.
So yeah, that was the first time that's
Oh
kind of how we met. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. I think just to as the last question, right now, what's your biggest struggle?
I think it's going to sound very cheesy, but just making sure that I am motivated and I don't throw everything out of the window. It's very easy for you to focus on all the bad topics and bad aspects of everything and just, okay, I'm not going to do this anymore. It's not worth it when it's actually worth it.
Yeah.
And I have to constantly remind myself about that. I think this is my current struggle. And it's not current like right now, but it has been a current struggle since I was born back in the 90s.
Oh my God.
What about you, Claudia?
I think I've been reflecting since we started doing and creating all this. Which one is, because I have so many. Like I overthink.
Yeah, it's not just one big struggle.
So like I think my biggest one is that I want to do everything perfect. Like I want to do everything perfect on the first try. I don't allow myself to fail and feel that I fail at something. I don't know, like I'm so scared of that I tend to overplan, and I enjoy all that part of as I said, like planning and doing, but I want to stay there because I know I can do that, and that's kind of my comfort zone, because I know I have the control, like I have full control of that. But the moment that I have to put something out there, I don't control it anymore, and I'm scared of not doing it right.
The perception,
or perfect. Yes.
Yeah, right?
Not the perception, but like feeling that I could have done that better, you know?
Okay.
And trying to be perfect. So I struggle to that fear of failing, and I struggle to do. Like I plan and I have so many ideas, but the part where you actually do it, that's my struggle. So yeah, that's it. That's it for today. This is us, and we're gonna be covering your struggle, my struggle, and so many more with more people, and also talking about the experiences.
Yeah. Next week, we're going to have our first episode with our first guest and our first struggle. So stay tuned and stay creative.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for hearing.
Thank you, guys. See you.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to give us a review and share this with someone you think might need it.
Also, share with us your favorite quote.
You can find more information about the podcast and our guests on the website FilmStruggles.com.
Remember to follow us at FilmStruggles on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Thank you for listening.
See you next week with a new guest
and a brand new struggle.
FilmStruggles is hosted, produced, and edited by Claudia Hernandez Barragan and Gabriel Sousa Nunes.
Executive producer is Gerson Carranza and sound design by Sebastian Sagastumi.